Hey guys, we're live. We're live. I'm Jeff with Ebayaddicts, and today my special guest is American Arbitrage. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. Life is good. Just at the in the Thunderdome in my eBay dungeon right here, doing some work today at the shop.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So go ahead and introduce yourself. You're a full-time reseller, and you live in Utah. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, I'm a full-time reseller. I've been reselling now for a decade. I've been doing this since
Wow.
March 2011, and most of that time I've had a shop like this. Except for about a 2-year period when they upped the rent in my old place, we moved, and now we're back in business in the store. Yeah, I started it a decade ago. I graduated from college at the University of Utah. I got 3 degrees: political science, history, and Spanish. I was going to be a professor, and the recession was going strong, and I started doing this, and I really really enjoyed it.
All right.
So yeah,
So awesome. Yeah, I'm a recent subscriber of your channel. I think I got recommended your channel or something like a week or so ago, and I subscribed. It looks like you really enjoy what you're doing. So you got to tell us the whole backstory. How did you go to? Because I'm sure, because I'm a reseller too, so I'm sure your parents weren't happy. So you go to college, you got 3 degrees. And I'm sure they wanted you to be like a doctor or a lawyer, engineer or
yep,
something.
a
And
lawyer.
you're
That's
like,
what they
"Hey,
wanted.
I'm right." It's like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna find items from the thrift store and sell them on eBay. I think I'm just going to do that as my career. So, tell me the
It took
backstory of.
me Yeah, it took me a few months to get my mom and dad on board, but they actually what I determined was if I was going to do this full time, I wanted to have a store. I started doing a live auction. I'm an auctioneer here in Utah as well, which I don't do currently, but I mean, I've done 50, 60 live auctions here in Utah. So I'm like, if I'm going to do this for real, I'm going to have a store and I'm going to do it since I have all those degrees. That way my parents don't get on me too much for what I'm doing. But yeah, I've been on YouTube now for about 16 months and I started at the same time. I'm a little bit more well known on TikTok and Instagram. I think I just hit 430,000 followers on TikTok, and then yeah, somewhere around 25, 26 on Instagram. And yeah, just building my YouTube, doing the YouTube grind. I enjoy YouTube quite a bit. I'm not as good at it as I am with the short form content that I'm used to doing, but it's what I do.
Well, you're going to get there, man. I think I saw you on Instagram. You had like 26,000 followers on
Yeah.
Instagram. So I'm sure you'll get there. How far are you away from being monetized now? Because you're at like 3,400
Oh,
subscribers or
I've been
something now.
monetized on YouTube for a while, for like 6 months.
Oh, you have? Okay. Because I clicked on a video the other day and I didn't see any ads. So I don't know.
The,
Maybe.
the short ads, well, some of the old videos I didn't monetize, but the short ones that are like a minute, I usually don't monetize. It's just not really worth it. That way, people can click right into the shorts, which I think is a big part of the future of YouTube is the shorts, which is basically Reels and TikTok. It's just YouTube's answer to that. But yeah, no, it's monetization's good. I had a couple big videos in the summer for sports card stuff, so that got me monetized pretty quickly, thankfully.
Okay, awesome. Let me catch a few people in the chat. We got Annie is here. Javela Flips is in the chat hanging out with us. We got Pika Resellers. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. And we got Jen's Closet Gems is in here. She says, "Hey Jeff, Carrie, Annie, and Danny." So thank you for coming by.
Hello,
Jen just
everyone.
hit 500 subscribers on her YouTube channel. So I didn't get a chance to tell you earlier, but I subscribed to your channel, Jen. And if you keep hustling, you'll be at 1,000 before you know it. So I'm interested in you kind of telling me your backstory. What was you were a full-time student, so what was your like job or occupation before you decided to become a full-time reseller? Like I'm sure you had probably had a couple of dead-end jobs like all of us have,
Yep.
right?
In college, honestly, I probably did it the wrong way. I was about class, and then I just took jobs. And when I at that time when I didn't feel like doing them anymore, I just quit. I put in my 2 weeks. So I did a lot of stuff. I did in and out for a time. I was teaching after school Spanish. I did my own curriculum, and I was a teacher at that school for a little while. But when I graduated from college, I just had a bunch of odd jobs throughout college. And I was looking for work. And what I realized with being a professor, which is what I wanted to do, I needed more college. So I needed to go get some teaching certificates and I needed to go work towards my master degree and stuff in history, which is what I wanted to do. So at that time, that was the plan, go back. But in the meantime, I didn't really want to do the dead end jobs. I was actually looking for jobs and my mom brought me, I was still at home at that time. My mom brought me a video game, a Pokemon game my sister got for Christmas in the 90s. And she said, "Do you think this will sell on eBay?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I sold a few sports cards for fun sometimes." I put it
Right.
on auction back then in those days. And I started at $1 and it sold for 70. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And me and my dad were kind of into American Pickers and Pawn Stars and Storage Wars, which were all the rage 10 years ago and still are fairly popular. And we just got into it. I started going to the DI, which is the big thrift store here in Utah, and Savers and Goodwill. And it went from there. Within about 7-8 months, I had my first store, physical store. So.
Okay, awesome. Let me say hi to a few people in the chat. I wanted to say hey to my buddy Flip the World. He's in Texas. I wanted to say hey to Jen's Closet, and I wanted to say hey to Osborne Thrift. Tim, if you guys don't know Tim, I'll follow him on Instagram. He just sold like $5,000 worth of stuff on eBay last week. So he's hustling for a one-man show. So if you guys aren't following him, go by and check him out. And someone says are you a Mormon? They want to know since you live in Utah.
Yep, raised Mormon. I went on the whole mission thing and everything. I'm not really, don't really prescribe to it anymore, but growing up, yeah, culturally, I'm definitely Mormon. I went on my 2-year mission. That's where I learned Spanish.
Okay, awesome. Jen says, are you a one-man show as far as your reselling and YouTube business? You have your partner in crime with you, right? How's that going?
Yeah, she's not here. She actually went to Walmart just now because I was going live. But yeah, no, my girlfriend, we have our business, which is called 1851 Furniture, AD Furniture and Decor. So we do a lot of furniture and stuff. We're opening the shop this week, which will have some of my stuff, American Arbitrage stuff in it. But yeah, she paints furniture. She flips furniture. I met her as the auctioneer. She came to my auction. And so that's how I met my girlfriend. And we've been together for about 7 years. So she's all in on this. As far as the eBay side, which is what I focus a lot of my channel on, that's all me. Occasionally, if I'm really swamped, she'll help me ship a little bit. But she has a whole different side of the business, different stuff she does, local sales. But yeah, we built up a following here in Utah, about 25,000 followers on our Facebook business page. And yeah, we've been doing it for years and years and years.
Awesome. So there's a couple things I want to get into here. First of all, in your state, I was listening to your podcast the other day. You don't have to have an auctioneer's license to hold an auction in your state. Is that correct?
You don't know. I think it's like 27 out of the 50 states you don't have an auctioneer's license. And I got 3 degrees. I have no problem. I had no problem. I was going to go get an auctioneering license if I needed one. And you didn't need one. And the people who had been doing auctions here, which typically were older guys, they did not like it. But I knew the rules. I knew the laws. And it was as simple as having a location, an LLC, saying I was going to do an auction and advertising it and doing it. I have theater training. I did theater in high school and college. So, I mean, I wasn't really worried about being in front of people or, being live or anything. And it took a little bit getting used to, but we got to a point where we were getting 40 or 50 people in our live auctions, which isn't huge, but it was enough to make some money. But we kind of stayed away from that model for our business because a lot of the stuff we were selling to flippers, which we're flippers. So we could have just got the full price for stuff, we realized. And I've done some hired gun work since then where people hire me to be an auctioneer, but I just take a cut of their profits. I don't do any of the other work.
Okay, awesome. So where are some of the places you like to go sourcing at? You said thrift stores, you like doing yard sales, you do like swap meets, flea markets. I just want to cover the gambit of where you like to go sourcing at because you've been a reseller now for 10 years. And is there any particular niche that you specialize in? Is it like toys, video games, electronics? What is it that you're looking for specifically, or do you just whatever you can get a good deal on?
Yeah, it's definitely, I do have 2 major niches. It's toys and sports cards. Those are my 2 niches. But I encourage everybody to try to learn about as much as possible. Obviously, you're probably not going to go deep with every type of item, but I sell a little bit of everything. When I started, I did a lot of video games, but as most people who hunt for video games know, it's highly competitive, and people know what they have a lot more than they did 10 years ago. So it's a little harder to find the great deals. But as far as where I like to, a lot of people know me as a thrift store guy. That's like my 3rd or 4th favorite place. I prefer probably the swap meet #1 because there's a great amount of stuff in one place. And there are some professionals that have high prices, but there's a lot of people trying to get rid of stuff. So based on the amount of stuff available and the pricing, that's best. Garage sales to me would be like #2 because typically the prices are going to be lower, but they're all over the place. You have to do some traveling and you could strike out on any given day because there's not enough, good stuff out there. And then thrift stores are great in Utah because the winter. So, I don't have much where, outside of Facebook Marketplace for local deals. I don't really have anywhere else to consistently find stuff. And I mean, I do a whole bunch of other stuff. I do sports cards. So I go to local card shops. I look through their $1, $5 boxes. And the thing with cards, it's so dynamic. It's kind of like the stock market. If a player has 40 points last night, that card could double in price, his rookie card. So I go to the card shops, realizing who's playing well at that moment. And the shop owners aren't going through their boxes every day. They can't. It's too much work. So that's where I can find some deals that way often as well.
Yeah, sports cards are hot right now. I think I was listening to your podcast the other day, and you're talking about that you found like this Tim Duncan rookie card or something, and even though you priced it higher than your competitors, I think you still sold it for like $20 or something.
Yep.
And so,
waited. Yeah, sorry. What had happened with that is I have a few of them. I have another one. I had 2 copies of that. He's going to be inducted to the Hall of Fame, I think, this month or next month. So his cards are gradually going up, his rookie cards and everything. But I put it high, probably about double what the current going price was, and it sold.
Okay, there's a couple of other things I wanted to get into because you're a full-time. This is your full-time occupation is being a reseller. For people who are doing it part-time or they want to go full-time, how many hours a week do you actually put in to reselling? Because you're outsourcing, you're listing items, you're packing, shipping, you're handling customer service. Like, how many hours would you say a week that you put into this whole reselling thing?
Yeah, about 50, 60, but it's not all high quality hours, to be honest. I mean, the thing about being full-time, and you have to realize, and it's kind of an advantage being part-time in ways, because your time's a little bit more constrained. So when you have to get your job done, you have to get your work done, you do it because you have to go to sleep, you have to get up. And I've done this part-time for a couple years in between this last 10 years. So I kind of understand that with full-time, you're in total control of your time, which is awesome. But you have to be focused. So yeah, I'd say 50, 60 hours, but I mean, am I focused every one of those hours? 100%? Probably not.
Well, it's just you have to hustle because it's a different mentality when you're self-employed versus knowing every week you got a paycheck coming in every Friday. You're like, oh, yeah, don't worry. Every Friday I got a paycheck coming in. Bills are going to be paid and all that. So if someone is watching this and they wanted to become full-time, do you have 2 or 3 tips that you could share with them, kind of help them out in their journey if they wanted to become a full-time reseller, like advice or tips or tricks that you can share with the audience?
First thing, I say it all the time, list every single day on eBay or wherever platform you are. You need that algorithm knowing that you're active. You need to be posting consistently. I try to do 20 items a day. I don't hit it every day. I hit like 19. I was almost there yesterday, 18, 19. Day before I hit 20. The day before I did like 2. So I'm not consistent even with that, but post every single day. 1. Second, get involved with social media. It has helped me so much. I had, outside of my business stuff, I had next to no, no social media besides my business stuff before. And then I started American Arbitrage, and that grew, and I get a lot of business from that. I get a ton of people coming in from Instagram and TikTok wanting to buy stuff they see in my videos, and it really, really helps you. And beyond that, honestly, I have sponsorship deals through TikTok especially that pay for this whole building, and then some. So, I mean, I have more money coming in from that than I did working part-time before, or even full-time before. And that's something you can build, especially through TikTok right now. There is so much demand for reseller content. And there's people coming in every day, but people are growing rapidly if they're really focused. But yeah, get into social media, even if it's not for that reason, but just to get your products out there so people know you have them. And then outside of that is just study. You want to learn what's selling. The best way to do it for me is watch videos, watch them in the background. I have YouTube Red, so I don't even have to have the video on. I can just listen like a podcast, and I could be taking pictures, I could be working, and I could be hearing about bolos or what people are finding. And I do it, every day pretty much.
Yeah, it looks like you have sales every day. I'm a recent subscriber of your channel, and you've been hustling, man. I mean, if you were saying you work 50, 60 hours a week, it sounds like you work, 6, 7 days a week on reselling. Let me say hey to a few people in the chat. I wanted to say hey to Save Here First. I wanted to say hey to Fear the Thrift Machine. He says, I totally have to get on TikTok. I wanted to say hey to Annie. And I wanted to say hey to Katie Reeds is in the chat. So thank you guys for coming in. If you have questions for our guests, drop it in the chat. I wanted to ask you a few questions because I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, but I haven't got this whole TikTok thing down, man. So you seem to be, that's your niche. You do better on TikTok than you do anywhere else. So could you give us any pointers or kind of tell me how the social media is set up there?
Well, TikTok, when I first started, there was like 4 of us, 4 resellers on TikTok. It was still kind of evolving into what it is today. And what I learned pretty quickly is it's YouTube, but in short form, 15 to 60 seconds, basically, sometimes 7, 8 seconds. So what I started doing and what really caught on was my trips to the thrift store and, look out for, this West Side Story CD. I bought it for 50 cents. It sells for $8, BOLO kind of thing. And then that's my video. And then I'll show like a screenshot of a sold listing or something, or I'll talk about an item I sold, or I'll give packaging tips. But it grew really fast. I started, with no following. I remember my first video, I had 2 views for the first 2 weeks. I had no idea what I was doing. Then I just started experimenting, and within the first year, I was over 100,000. Now I'm about 16 months in, and I'm getting close to 500,000 followers.
Wow.
So it's insane. I don't even understand what's going on. But then once, there was a demand for it. Is all I know. There was a demand for what I'm doing, and it's all about quick visuals. It's very, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's very about quick visuals, fast, quick information. But it works for what we're doing. But you just have to focus on one thing. It's not so much about introducing yourself, who you are, what you do. It's just about giving value and leaving. Simple.
Now, I just want to ask you one more question about TikTok. Now, it's different than YouTube. With YouTube, you have to have 4,000 hours of watch time, and you have to have 1,000 subscribers. What is the threshold on TikTok for people to get monetized if they wanted to jump on the TikTok train? Can you tell them a little bit about that?
Creator Fund, so you get paid for your views. It's 10,000 followers, and no hours. It's just 10,000 subscribers. Then you have to have so many lists, so many posts in the last month, like 4 or 5. I mean, I do sometimes 4 or 5 in a day. So, I mean, it's not too much. The main thing is you just got to get 10,000 subscribers. I know a few people that are, trying to get over here on YouTube that are fairly successful over on TikTok, and they got up to 10,000 in weeks. My girlfriend started the 1851 account. She was at like 2,000, and she got up to 10,000 in 3 weeks, I think, 3 or 4 weeks. But she's at 25,000 now. So
on your TikTok account, could you have links to like maybe drive traffic to your eBay store or YouTube channel and things like that as well?
That's probably where I cut a lot of my people coming over from, honestly. And I realized like YouTube's a totally different animal. It's a grind, but I think I got boosted a little bit from TikTok. Probably got 2,000 of my 3,500 people from TikTok. But yeah, I have a link tree. Link tree is great for everything: Instagram, TikTok. They go on. There's a link to my podcast, my eBay, my Mercari, my whatever I have, my buy me a coffee, my whatever things I have going on is a link, and they could just click on it and go there and subscribe. Those
okay,
are
awesome.
link trees.
Yeah, I'm just not a big, like, I'm like believe it or not, guys, I'm not a big, extroverted person. Like, I'm not really super big into social media. Like, I do the best I can, but it's like, there's some, well, thank you. I do the best I can, but it's just not really my niche. So I'm glad we can bring other people on and they can share their experiences. Now, I wanted to ask you a few questions about having a brick and mortar store, because I don't have a lot of guests on that do that. Can you kind of take us behind the scenes? Give us kind of if you don't mind me asking, give us kind of the whole rundown of how that works. Like, how much do they charge you for overhead expenses? What are some of the things that go along with having a brick and mortar store? I mean, are you guys open like 9 to 5? Do you buy things there to resell on eBay, or is it like, explain your, the strategy behind it?
It is a lot more intimidating than it is actually hard to do, if that makes sense. It is very intimidating, but it's not, the actual practicality of it is not that hard. You just go find a place, you sign a lease, which this one is the overhead with, heating and air is somewhere over $2,000 a month. Utah's a little less expensive than other places in the US. Like in California, it would be triple what I'm paying here, I'm sure. So you get a lease and everything, you get a business license. So, Don, we have a business license for that business. American Arbitrage, I have a business license for my own business. So we've done all that stuff. We've been doing it for years, so we're kind of confident we understand how to do it, but it's not as intimidating as people think. Just a couple phone calls, a couple websites to visit, a little bit of money, and you can do it. And then you open up the store. We're actually, what we've realized over the years of doing this, because I've been open almost entirely since late 2011, except for like a 2.5 year break. So what we realized is there's no need to be open every single day. We're just open on the weekends, Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., just to hit the people who are going out antiquing and everything. We also have a bit of a following from online, so they're going to come in. The whole week we're going to be teasing items. They're going to come in, and we do a lot of things. We're really aggressive with how we sell stuff. We do free delivery on any item anybody buys, all the way down to Las Vegas. I don't care if it's a $5 item. I know that's crazy, but we go down there quite often, so we just schedule it basically. So that's how we built a lot of our following, is just doing the online thing, doing free delivery all over Utah. That's what I used to do almost every day. But we've kind of built a system now where it's not quite as, time consuming used to be. But yeah, now we're just open, and then people come in and they do sell us stuff for sure, and we can buy stuff. If you've watched Craigslist Hunter, it's kind of similar to that. He buys stuff in the store. We will also buy stuff in the store, and it's fun. It's just another way to do business. Honestly, it's just another way to do what we're doing.
Hey, Carrie, I think we lost you for a second. Just give me 1 second. I think we're having technical difficulties. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know where you lost me at, so.
Oh, well, we just froze up for a second. You were talking about having a brick and mortar store, and I was just wondering, like, man, do you have enough foot traffic to cover all of your expenses? Because in my mind, signing a big lease, let's say your rent is $2,000 a month, and then you're paying your water, electric, internet, cable, whatever other expenses that you have with that location. If you have employees and all that, like, how exactly does that work? Like with your, like, do you?
You still there? Yeah,
Carrie, are you there?
Yeah, sorry. So I'll tell you about the foot traffic thing. We don't really worry about foot traffic at all. That's kind of a big myth with what I've been doing for years. And that's why we started going online and doing the free delivery thing. Was we're not going to rely on foot traffic to come into the store. We're going to bring people in. And that's honestly what I focus on, is bringing people into the store via online. I have several people who will be coming, I'm sure, from TikTok this weekend, who will be coming from Instagram, who will be coming, who have been following us for years. But honestly, if this store can support itself, pay for itself, that would be a win, because we have 3,000 square feet here. 1,000 square feet is the actual store. Another 1,000 is for storage for my girlfriend's stuff in her painting studio. And another 1,000 square feet is my whole eBay storage. So this is more than just a store. It's also, a studio, a storage, an eBay, workstation, and everything. Not sure if you're going in and out. I don't know if you're still there.
There he is. We're back. I apologize, guys. Sometimes when you're dealing with the internet, sometimes things happen. I'm in Florida, and Carrie is all the way in Utah, so sometimes we have technical difficulties. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but go ahead and continue.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure where I left off, but basically, with foot traffic, a lot of people worry about that when they're getting a retail location, and honestly, you have to think about foot traffic. The people who are coming by that are looking for antiques are very few and far between, and the people who do stop by are probably not going to be buyers consistently. So you have to figure out a way to find those people. And you could be 20 miles off the road, but if you have the right stuff, people will come to you. And that's what we focus on, getting people here via the internet, via our Facebook page, via, our social media stuff.
Like I was listening to your podcast, and you said that you offer free shipping. So, I mean, that's an upgrade over if somebody shop Walmart or Target or Best Buy or something like that, that you guys offer free shipping on items. So that probably helps as well, right?
Yeah, in Utah. So I do on eBay, I do plus shipping on everything, but in our local business, we deliver for free. So if somebody buys a big piece of furniture, Don will put it on our Facebook page. They'll buy it, they'll pay for it. We have people from doing this for years. We've had several occasions where we have people just send us money and we don't even know what it's for, because there's some competition for certain things. And then once it's paid for, we know what the item is. We'll schedule a delivery time. Typically, we'll go to one part of Utah one day, another part of Utah another day. We'll go to Vegas once a month. We'll go to Evanston once a month and stuff like that. And then, yeah, it's free for them. Sure. Not sure if he's gone or I'm gone or what's happening.
Hey, I'm back.
Yeah,
Sorry
I'm
again.
sorry about that. Yeah.
So, Carrie, I wanted to ask you a few questions, man. I was listening to your podcast the other day, and you said a lot of people kind of pick on you and say you need to get a real job, and what you do isn't a real career, isn't a real job. And you were talking on your podcast, and you were saying that people need to realize that, trends are changing into this environment where people can be self-employed. When I was a kid, my grandparents, they were entrepreneurs. They had like their own like little gas station. They had their own like little miniature grocery store, and people would shop in their own little niche in their community. And I think now in the year 2020, people are starting to get back in that direction of being an entrepreneur and a small business owner and being self-employed. And I think that society is saying that it's okay that you can be an entrepreneur, you can be self-employed, and you can kind of march to the beat of your own drum. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Of course, yeah. We live, like I was talking a little bit in the podcast about how 300-400 years ago people were working for themselves, trading and bartering. They had farms, they did all that kind of stuff, and then the industrialization, the industrial period started. Everybody moved into cities. And for times there was neighborhood grocery stores and everything, but a lot of people started working in factories and whatnot, and everything kind of got streamlined. And you started, what people think as a regular job is just not something that's going to continue on forever. Just think about Walmart and everything. Are the checkers going to be needed in 10 years? They really aren't even needed that much now. I mean, it's all going to be automated. It's all going to be computerized. And the internet is not only fixing, doing that for Walmart and other places, it's also allowing people like us to go work for ourselves. I was talking about in the podcast, if you're passionate about doing ant farm stuff, if you want to build ant farms and you want to do a YouTube channel on it and you want to sell ant farm equipment or whatever, you can start that. You can do, you could do a YouTube channel, you can do a Squarespace website, you can do eBay, you can do all these things, and you should be able to make just as much, if not more, if you hustle, than what you could for a traditional, insurance job or going and working as a manager at a grocery store or whatever a traditional job may or may not be. Traditional jobs are changing, and people need to embrace that, in my opinion.
I think 2020 taught everybody a valuable lesson that, your job, no matter how much seniority you have and all that stuff, or no matter what your job title is, your job isn't necessarily secure. And I don't know if you guys know this, but about 50% of the country makes less than like $35,000 a year. So if you know that, no matter how many college degrees you have, no matter what your regional manager or district manager or whatever your job title is, you're going to make less than $40,000 a year. To me, it's like you might as well be self-employed and start from the bottom and work your way up and kind of start your own path. It's not for everybody, but it's kind of like at least have a side gig or a side hustle on the side. So if your boss calls you up and says, hey, we don't need you anymore, you're being laid off or your position's being eliminated or being outsourced, you're like, no, I'm good. I've got 3 or 4 other streams of income on the side. So you're not losing any sleep,
Exactly.
So I think
I'm a strong proponent of everybody in the world should be doing what we're doing as far as buying and selling stuff now, not at the level necessarily that we are, but every person, who does the garage sales, which, I mean, it would suck if those kind of dried up. But what a lot of these people should be doing with their high-end stuff is putting it on eBay, even if they're not an eBay seller or Facebook Marketplace, and selling their PS4, selling the stuff that's at least obvious that they can make a couple $100 for. I think that should be part of the educational system. We should learn how to trade, barter, and use the things around us. We don't need to rely on the fact that we make $15, $25, $35, $50 an hour or $50,000 a year, and that's as much as we're going to make until a company feels good enough or nice enough to give us a raise for whatever reason. We can give ourselves a raise whenever we want to hustle more and do more work or be more streamlined. That's how I like to think about it, and I like that potential and that mindset a lot better personally.
And that way there is no cap, there's no ceiling on how much money you can make. And I'm a proponent of giving yourself a stimulus check. Don't depend on the government or a job or a corporation. Just get out and hustle, and you can make your own stimulus check, because there's opportunities are everywhere. You were saying in your podcast that if everybody in the world started reselling, there's so much merchandise out there to get that everybody could still be profitable if they wanted to, right?
Exactly. And I hear some people say, well, don't give away the secrets, don't do this. And first off, my first thought is there is so much stuff. And the chance that me and, Tim at Osborne to Thrift and all these other people have the same stuff at the same exact time is slim to none. The fact that many of the people who hear my stuff or hear our stuff aren't going to do anything to begin with. And I've told people this over and over. If you find the same thing at the same time I have it, undercut me, sell it first. I'm good. I got 950 other items right now on eBay. I can wait. So just I think sharing, there's so much growth for all of us potential here.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've got about 6,000 items listed on my main eBay store, and I'm not in a rush to sell it. If it sells, it sells. I'm not going to try to race to the bottom and sell it for the lowest price. So whenever the right buyer comes along to buy it, that's great. But like I said, it's about having multiple streams of income. Let me catch up with a few people in the chat. We got Fernando 2434 collectibles says hashtag side hustles. I wanted to say hey to Graybeard Treasures. He says, Will next Big Brother is coming after you, no matter, even if you make a $600 sell. We have the cap guy here. Yeah, well, the government, they always want their cut no matter what you're doing. If you're reselling, no matter whatever job you're doing, they always want their cut. I wanted to say hey to Brittany, all bossed up. Wanted to say hey to Derek from Fundamentals of Side Hustling, Annie, and I missed a few people in the chat. The Flipping Accountant was here, and we had a question in the chat. He wanted to know, how is the thrifting in Utah going?
Well, Utah, I mean, if you follow, like Tim at Osborne to Thrift and Utah Bought and Gone, we have, or Side Hustle at Home Mom, or Hustle at Home Mom, I think's her name. We have a lot of really good thrift stores here that are really affordable. And I go thrifting all over the West Coast, San Francisco, Arizona, LA, and it is substantially different. And the main difference is the DI, which is a Mormon church-owned thrift store. For 10 years, they've had stuff very affordably. Like, I mean, I'm getting electronic units that are worth, DVD players, VHS players, CD changers for $5 to $8 that are selling for 50, 60 bucks almost every single day. And it's just, it is a really nice place to thrift. But no matter where you are, I mean, you can find stuff. Thrift stores might not be the number one place that you can, score great stuff in California, but you have the advantage in California of going garage selling every weekend, which I don't have. Or, Facebook Marketplace is 10 times as big as it is here in northern Utah. So everybody has their thing. Also, everybody has the kind of stuff in their area that they can sell. I'm in Utah, so beyond the sports stuff like the Jazz or the Utah Utes or whatever, we also, have Mormon stuff. And there's Mormons everywhere. So I find, Mormon, memorabilia, and I sell it all over the world. If you're in New York, you can buy all sorts of stuff from all the sports teams and all the historical stuff that goes on there. So wherever you are, you can make a good living doing this. It's just, there's definitely a different game plan every place you're at.
I'm sorry, Carrie. I'm having technical difficult issues today. This happens from time to time, so I apologize. I'm trying to work through it and do the best that I can. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. No worries on my end.
Okay. So, Carrie, now, before we let you go, man, what would be like maybe 2, 3, 4 tips you can recommend to somebody if they wanted to be, how could they go about generating a full-time income from reselling? Like, what would you suggest? I mean, is it vital that they go ahead and order up, or have a brick and mortar store? I mean, I think social media is imperative. Like, you could post something on Instagram and say, hey, I got this at thrift store. Someone may jump out the same day and say, hey, I want to buy that, whatever it is, So do you have anything else that you could bring up that would maybe help some people in the chat to help them make a full-time income from reselling?
Yeah, a brick and mortar definitely is not necessary. It's something we're doing because the situation allows it, and it's a good deal, and it gives us a lot of space for what we want to do. But as far as social media, honestly, in this day and age, if people don't know who you are online as a business, then as a business, you really don't exist. Because if eBay gets rid of you or Mercari gets rid of you for whatever reason, whatever thing that happens, it might not even be your fault. Your whole business can go away. And if you're on social media, you can just pivot and go to another place, let people know where you are. So yeah, I would get on Instagram. I mean, I preach it all the time. People know, and I get annoying about it, but go on TikTok. Just look up the hashtags eBay seller, American Arbitrage if you want. Follow me if you want, and just see what we're doing on there. There's a vibrant community. A lot of us are here on YouTube as well. And just let people know what you're doing, what you're selling. And as far as, becoming full-time and doing this for a living, be consistent. If you're buying stuff, process it. I buy a lot of stuff. I don't process it as fast as I should, but you need to be processing stuff every day, and if you don't want to work on eBay every day, that's totally understandable, but get some listings set up so you can at least post them every day. Work one day a week and get a bunch of listings ready and release them so they come through day by day by day. You want to keep pushing that stuff out. Be curious. I just really started heavy on Facebook Marketplace with shipping. I just barely started an Etsy account after 10 years. Not necessarily going to be big on any of those, but I want to learn other places to sell. I want to hedge my bets. And, I don't usually post the same things on the same sites too, because I always forget with the cross listing that I sold something here and now it's on there and I sold it. And it causes a lot of problems for me personally, but posting things in different places, different items works really well for me.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I mainly just sell on eBay. I sell a couple of things locally on OfferUp or Craigslist locally, some bigger items that I don't want to ship. But 95% of the stuff I sell is on eBay because I just feel like there's more traffic there. There's some people that do well on Poshmark and Macari, and that's great. But I just mainly stick to my main platform, and then just every week, every month, you just got to reinvest your money back in your business, and it'll grow over time. It's not something that's just going to happen overnight,
Yeah, be patient. Be patient. I've been doing this for a decade, and I still have room for a lot of growth, and I still underperform in many areas. You can't be too hard on yourself. You also can't be too easy on yourself. So it's a balancing act.
Hey, Carrie. Hey, man, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm having internet connection issues.
No,
Tell everybody
fine.
where they can follow you at on YouTube and Instagram, and I'll have you back on sometime soon. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I'd love to, man. Yeah, you could follow me here on YouTube. I'm American Arbitrage. I'm American Arbitrage everywhere. YouTube, Instagram. I'm even on Pinterest. TikTok is a place you can follow me. If you're not involved in TikTok, go check it out. It's a vibrant community. There's so many great content creators that are making similar stuff to what you watch on YouTube, but it's just a different way of doing it.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I got his links down below in the description below. So you go by and follow Carrie on YouTube and Instagram, and hopefully we'll have you back on again sometime. I'll be there checking out, and you have a podcast as well and a brick and mortar store. So sounds like you're staying really busy.
Yeah, I like to stay busy. I'm full time. I don't want to be, I like to be busy. I'll get bored if I'm not.
All right. Hey, Carrie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
I think he froze up again.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead and give people in the chat your final thoughts, and we'll let you go, okay?
Yeah, if you're not a reseller, get started. I think it's a huge thing that you can do to either get you a little bit of extra side money for whatever projects or goals you have, or you could even do it full time if you're, dedicated enough. It's definitely possible. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. It's a lot of work, no doubt about that. But if you enjoy it, it beats the heck out of a 9 to 5. I'll tell you that much. Thanks. I appreciate being on, man.
All right. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, I'm a recent subscriber to your channel, and go by and check them out. American Arbitrage on YouTube and Instagram. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I have, who do I have going tomorrow? So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. And I'll see you then tomorrow at 7 o'clock. You guys have a great day. Bye, everybody.
Bye.